Deep fake frauds are creeping into the mainstream, not only on TV, but now into your office and your homes. Whenever I talk about fraud, I mention my inability to predict the future and how I wish I could predict new frauds before they occur. Well, I think I have one and I want to share it with you so you can be ready. Please bear with me until the end when I think you'll see that what I'm predicting is not as far fetched as it might sound at the beginning. Hey guys, I'm Mary Schaefer, founder of AP Now, the place where we curate the latest business intelligence for those who work in, manage, or have responsibility for the payments and or accounts payable function. So let's get started. This is a little different topic, but remember, I'm trying to predict a fraud that will occur so you can protect yourself. Fact number one. Deep fakes, and I want to give you the definition, are synthetic media in which a person in an existing image or video is replaced with someone else's likeness. Okay, now we saw this in an episode of NCIS LA, Los Angeles, where criminals created deep fakes with some of the main characters. And these fakes were good enough to fool their partners and us, the audience, to be perfectly honest. Okay, but that's just fiction, you say. Stay with me, okay? Now, by the way, you'll notice that I'm calling this the half deepfake fraud. And I'm using the word half because when we're looking at videos, we're looking at a visual and audio. And in this particular fraud that I'm about to talk about or predict, I'm only going to talk about the audio portion of that. So just put that in the back of your mind, especially when we talk about fact number two. Both Amazon and Microsoft have the technology now to emulate voices of others. For example, Amazon says that Alexa will soon be able to speak to you in the voice of someone who has passed on. Now that may sound comforting, but let's, dive into it a little more deeply. At a recent conference, Amazon demonstrated the technology that will allow Alexa to copy anyone's voice after listening to just a few short audio clips. So while Amazon's purposes are altruistic and may bring comfort to some people, I bet the criminals are already looking into how they can use this technology for nefarious purposes. And I found one that might hit right at the payment function, whether it's in treasury, accounts payable, or elsewhere in accounting. Or for that matter, it could hit you personally. So I want you to pay close attention. So how could the criminals use this? Well, here's one way, at least one way that I think it might be used. They could listen to your CFO or anyone else for that matter out of the office message and get that sample of his or her voice. They'd have that audio sample that they need. Then they can use the technology to emulate his or her voice on a call to whoever is responsible for doing wire transfers and ask if they initiate a rush wire transfer. They could also ask if they change a bank account number or buy some gift cards or anything else, but this is just how it could creep in. Now, since the recipient recognized the person's voice, they might be tempted to take no further verification efforts, okay? And if the crooks are really slick, and as you know, many of them are, they will marry this technology with an email that they've also falsified, providing the necessary instructions, be it for a wire transfer or whatever, okay? I told you these guys are pretty slick, and it's kind of scary. Now, before I share how I think you can protect yourself, if you like this episode, please give us a thumbs up, and if you've loved it, please subscribe. We produce new content for this channel 3 times a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays are devoted to payment and accounts payable issues, and Saturdays are reserved for my new passion, Wordle. Okay, back to how can you protect yourself. First of all, you want to consider having your out of the office messages recorded by someone of the opposite sex. So instead of saying, I can't come to the phone right now, you can say John or Jane can't come to the phone right now. That's pretty simple. That won't 100% protect you, but it will eliminate the most obvious place that they get the samples of your voice. Okay, that's number one. Second, verify even if you are 100% that there's nothing funny going on. So if you feel funny calling the CFO back, for example, and saying, hey, was that you on the phone? Was that a legit call? You don't want to, feel foolish. You might say something like, hey, I just want to go over that account number again. Or could you go over the correct spelling of the company name or whatever to make it look like, you're not calling to make sure that it wasn't a deep fake. Okay, and third, and this is not only for deep fakes, but all sorts of frauds. Be suspicious. Anytime anything is out of the ordinary, be suspicious, because these guys are really smart when it comes to finding loopholes in processes or technology, okay? And this one is just another example. And speaking of anything out of the ordinary, there's a new twist on Zelle scams that could, by the way, worm its way into other frauds. So you might want to be aware of it. We recently did a presentation on this with Lynn Lawson, which you can watch right now using the link that will appear momentarily on YouTube and is in your show notes below. As always, we appreciate your thumbs up, your subscribes, your shares, and your comments. Good luck.